Today, we're peeling back the layers on one of the most controversial, shocking, and downright eerie chapters in American history, Project MK Ultra. That's right. We're talking about the CIA's secret mind control experiments that sound like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. But trust me, this is all too real. So grab your tinfoil hats and let's get into it. Project MK Ultra was a covert operation spearheaded by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, that involved conducting a wide range of secret experiments. These experiments were aimed at exploring the possible applications of substances like LSD for various purposes, including but not limited to mind control, extracting information, and psychological coercion. Intriguingly, some of these experiments were carried out on American citizens who were not informed about the nature of the tests they were subjected to. The program was initiated in 1953 and continued until approximately 1973. Despite its long duration, the existence and specifics of this clandestine operation remained shrouded in secrecy. It wasn't until a congressional investigation took place in 1975, which was focused on uncovering illegal activities perpetrated by the CIA, both within the United States and on a global scale, that the unsettling details of Project MK Ultra were finally brought to light and made public. During the peak of the Cold War in the 1950s and 1960s, the US government was alarmed by the possibility that agents from the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea were utilizing mind control techniques to indoctrinate American prisoners of war in Korea. To counter this, Allen Dulles, the then director of the CIA, initiated Project MK Ultra in 1953. This secretive operation was designed to formulate methods that could be used against enemies from the Soviet bloc, with the aim of manipulating human behavior through the use of drugs and other psychological interventions. The program encompassed over 150 human experiments that involved the use of psychedelic drugs, paralytic agents, and electroshock therapy. In some instances, the participants were aware they were part of an experiment, but in other cases, they were completely uninformed, even as the effects of the hallucinogens began to manifest. A significant number of these experiments were carried out in academic institutions, medical facilities, and correctional institutions across the United States and Canada. The majority of these tests occurred between 1953 and 1964. However, the exact number of individuals involved remains uncertain due to the CIA's notoriously inadequate record-keeping and the subsequent destruction of most MK Ultra documentation when the program was officially terminated in 1973. Under the guidance of Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist and toxin specialist at the CIA, the agency initiated experiments with LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide. Gottlieb theorized that the mind-bending effects of the drug could be utilized for purposes such as brainwashing or psychological coercion. As part of Project MK Ultra, the CIA provided funding for research at institutions like Columbia University and Stanford University to study the drug's effects. However, after a series of trials, it was concluded that LSD was too erratic to be reliably used in counterintelligence operations. In addition to LSD, Project MK Ultra also conducted experiments involving other substances like MDMA, ecstasy, mescaline, heroin, barbiturates, methamphetamine, and psilocybin, commonly known as magic mushrooms. Operation Midnight Climax was a subproject of the infamous MK Ultra program, where prostitutes on the government payroll enticed unwitting men into CIA-controlled safe houses for the purpose of drug experimentation. Inside these locations, the men were secretly administered LSD by CIA agents who would then observe the effects of the drug on the subjects from behind two-way mirrors, often while sipping cocktails. The rooms where the prostitutes operated were equipped with hidden recording devices, camouflaged as ordinary electrical outlets. The majority of these clandestine experiments were conducted in San Francisco and Marin County in California, as well as in New York City. Oversight for the program was minimal, and CIA agents who participated in the operation described the environment as loose and festive, akin to a free-spirited party. In a 1971 letter to Sidney Gottlieb, the chemist overseeing MK-Ultra, an agent named George White summarized the cavalier attitude that prevailed. He wrote, "Of course I was a very minor missionary, actually a heretic, but I toiled wholeheartedly in the vineyards because it was fun, fun, fun. Where else could a red-blooded American boy lie, kill and cheat, steal, deceive, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of the All-Highest?" The exact number of sub-projects and operations under the MKUltra umbrella is difficult to determine definitively due to the destruction of many records related to the program. However, it is generally believed that there were at least 149 sub-projects authorized under MKUltra and its associated programs. These sub-projects covered a wide range of activities, from hypnosis and drug experiments to studies on human behavior, perception, and susceptibility to influence. The projects were often contracted out to various institutions, including universities, hospitals, and research foundations, making the program a sprawling endeavor with multiple facets. It's important to note that the number 149 is based on surviving financial records and other documents that came to light during the various investigations into MKUltra. Given the secretive and compartmentalized nature of the program, it is possible that there were additional sub-projects or related activities that have not been publicly disclosed. The program also had connections to other operations and projects, such as Operation Chatter and Operation Bluebird, which were focused on similar objectives but were separate endeavors. These make the full scope of the CIA's efforts in this area even more extensive than what is commonly understood under the label of MKUltra. So, while the number 149 is often cited, it should be considered a minimum estimate, and the true extent of MKUltra's sub-projects and operations may never be fully known. Ken Kesey, the creative mind behind the 1962 literary classic One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, was a participant in MKUltra's LSD experiments during his academic years at Stanford University. Later, Kesey became an advocate for the psychedelic substance, orchestrating acid tests, social gatherings fueled by LSD. These events featured live music from bands like the Grateful Dead and incorporated psychedelic elements such as fluorescent paint and black lights. Kesey's acid tests were seminal in shaping early hippie culture and catalyzing the psychedelic movement of the 1960s. Frank Olson, a scientist employed by the CIA, became unwittingly entwined in a web of intrigue when he attended a CIA retreat in 1953. Little did he know that the cocktail he consumed during the event had been secretly spiked with LSD, setting the stage for a series of events that would shroud his death in mystery. Just a few days after that fateful retreat, on November 28, 1953, Olson tragically fell to his death from a window in a New York City hotel room. Initially ruled a suicide, this incident left many unanswered questions lingering in the air. In 1994, over 4 decades later, the Olson family sought to uncover the truth behind Frank Olson's demise. Opting for a second autopsy, forensic experts made a chilling revelation. Injuries on Olson's body pointed to occurrences that likely transpired before the fatal fall. This revelation ignited a firestorm of conspiracy theories, suggesting that Olson's death might have been orchestrated by the very agency he worked for, the CIA. After protracted legal battles and a painstaking quest for justice, the Olson family was awarded a settlement of $750,000. The case garnered attention not only for its perplexing circumstances, but also for the acknowledgement of wrongdoing. President Gerald Ford and then CIA Director William Colby stepped forward to offer personal apologies to the Olson family, acknowledging the pain and suffering caused by the tragic events. Frank Olson's story remains a haunting reminder of the complexities that often lie beneath the surface of official narratives. Other individuals of note who are said to have taken part in CIA-sponsored LSD experiments include Robert Hunter, who penned lyrics for the Grateful Dead, Ted Kaczynski, infamously known as the Unibomber, and James Whitey Bulger, the infamous Boston crime lord. In 1974, Seymour Hersh, a journalist with the New York Times, broke a story revealing the CIA's engagement in unauthorized drug experiments and illicit surveillance on American citizens. This expose initiated the long journey of unearthing hidden aspects of Project MK Ultra. Reacting to the post-Watergate climate and rising public skepticism towards government agencies, President Gerald Ford established the United States President's Commission on CIA Activities within the United States in 1975. Tasked with probing unlawful CIA operations, including MK Ultra and other non-consensual experiments on Americans, the commission was headed by Vice President Nelson Rockefeller and is often referred to as the Rockefeller Commission. Simultaneously, the Church Committee, led by Idaho Senator Frank Church, conducted a broader inquiry into the misconduct of U.S. intelligence agencies like the CIA and FBI. This committee not only investigated assassination plots against foreign leaders such as Fidel Castro of Cuba and Patrice Lumumba of the Congo, but also unearthed thousands of MK Ultra-related documents. These startling disclosures culminated in President Ford issuing an executive order in 1976 that explicitly forbade experimentation with drugs on human subjects unless informed consent was obtained in writing and witnessed by an impartial third party. The exposure of MK Ultra led to legal actions against the U.S. government, and several of the victims received compensation through court orders or settlements. It's worth noting that while MK Ultra is often cited in a variety of conspiracy theories, the core facts about the program are well documented and are a matter of public record. MK Ultra has had a lasting impact on American culture and has been the subject of numerous books, films, and documentaries. Wow, Project MK Ultra is one of those topics that really makes you question how far governments are willing to go in the name of national security. It's a dark chapter that serves as a cautionary tale about the ethics of scientific experimentation and the abuse of power. It is often mentioned in discussions about government overreach and ethical considerations in scientific research. Thanks for tuning in to Brain of History. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, stay informed.